Okay. So it says we're officially live. We will see if I'm actually. Oh wait.
One more.
Wait. One more. We're getting new at this. Like change cameras. Javier.
I'm here with James Cameron.
I don't even know who James Cameron is. Okay, totally. Clearly, I'm old. We were just talking about having Bob Ross painting night for PBS. So Javier may jump in on this. He may not. He's probably just gonna like run by and say hi. Yeah, you know. So it's Preguntas. We're here tonight with Gilbert McClure. I learned his last name for this, even though I've known him for years now.
Thank you.
And he's from Casa Nissan, and so. I don't know if I think he's a little nervous. You look a little nervous.
I'm never nervous. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, he's nervous. So I know Gilbert because he used to be a part, so now he's over in sales, which you had started originally in sales, right?
I started in sales. Yeah, I was in sales for 2 years. Moved over to the parts department for 2 years, helped him out.
So I don't know if you are like me. I hate buying a vehicle. Like literally, like when I compare stuff like to bad things, I'm like, well, it's like used car salesman. And so I'm like 90% of them suck and like 10% of them I may like. So you may fall in the 10%. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see because you always feel like they're lying to you. You don't know what they're really, like telling the truth or anything like that. So, that's why we have Gilbert here to answer some questions on like what is like the truth. And I just told him that I didn't even wear heels tonight. So that way he can feel like we're the same height.
I had to take my heels off too.
Yeah. Okay. So like literally, I hate buying cars. Like dealerships, I don't even like to go to the dealership now to pick up parts because I feel like the sales guys are like a flock of eagles and I'm a piece of meat and they're just gonna work down. Yeah, and I may have had 1 or 2 drinks, so I have weird
it's the ducks that got up there waiting for the bread to come out.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the last time I freaked out when I went to the dealership to buy parts, come back into friend Gilbert.
Sorry,
and he's scared of me. He's scared of me. So I went to the dealership to buy parts. And all these sales guys come by and I just drive off and then park across the street and then walk over to the dealership because I'm freaked out by the salespeople. So literally I'm in the industry and I'm still freaked out by it. So I'm sure y'all all have the same thing. So my main thing is what are your opinions in reference to buying new versus buying used? Because my opinion is I only buy wrecked. So I like to buy wrecked and fix them, but I have a body shop. But most people don't have that ability. So what do you recommend?
Everybody's situation is different depending on, your credit situation, your financial situation, what you need the car for. Some people are coming in, people buy cars every 3 to 10 years. So this person who's coming in might want this car to last them as long as they're going to need it, 120, 135,000 miles.
But I'm like 300, 400,000 miles?
Yeah,
but
see,
you don't know like a million miles?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't even know the last time we changed the oil in my car. So, I mean,
I have people here that can do it.
Yeah, I do have people here that could change the oil in my car. I clearly have problems. So, there's people that don't take care of the cars. So, okay. So,
yeah, and that's another thing, buying new is something that I always recommend just because you know that it's straight from the manufacturer. You're still under 100% warranty, and you can always extend that if you want to. There's also benefits to buying used.
Do they really warranty the stuff? Do they take care of the warranty?
Believe it or not, yeah. There's some things that aren't obviously like wear and tear items. Windshield wipers, tires, brakes, things that aren't built to mess up after time, but things that more times than not. You're going to have to replace them. You're going to have to replace your tires. You have to replace your brakes. You're going to have to replace your wipers. Do things like that. So things like that won't be under warranty. But as far as your bumper to bumper goes, that's everything inside the car from bumper to bumper. Anything that goes wrong, manufacturer defect. If your Bluetooth isn't working, down to if your shocks start giving out, you're going to be
still really skeptical.
I know. But, the thing is, the reason why people don't know about the warranties is because on a lot of new cars, it's getting so competitive right now that they're built with really high quality, A lot of times.
I fix cars. I feel like they're Legos. Everything just snaps together. Sorry, I'm not helping.
No,
here.
I know.
They're built right.
She knows behind the scenes, But for the most part, people, especially now in this age of social media, we got YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook going on. Word of mouth spreads so fast that if things start going bad, I mean, everybody's gonna know about it, you know.
Yeah.
So manufacturers try to do a pretty good job with, you know, let's say there's a manufacturer defect that has a recall.
Do you make more money on new or used parts or new or used vehicles?
Everybody asks that question.
I want to know.
How do you get paid? You know what? Every dealership is different. Specifically at our dealership, we get paid by unit bonuses. You know,
By what?
It's unit bonuses. So
unit bonuses.
You have this
so you have a whole group of salespeople that have to screw everybody over?
No, see,
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
No more seltzies for you, right?
I'm not allowed to drink before I come on here. But that's what everybody's thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're all thinking that, oh, okay, you say unit bonuses. We're like, okay, how many people you have to screw to get the bonus?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and so.
No, the way that we get paid is, you know, you sell the car. It doesn't matter how much you sell the car for, you're going to get paid. If you sell this many cars, you know, over the weekend, they'll put a bonus out for you. If you sell this many cars between this time and that time, there's other bonuses that they'll put out for you. So, you know, we're not incentivized to screw you guys over. I know there's a lot of misconceptions. Like I said, every dealership works different.
Okay. What about used cars? I mean, is it the same thing? Like what you're getting paid commission on a new car versus a used car? Is it the same?
So a lot goes into it. On a used car, we get paid, you know, the difference between what we get the vehicle for versus how much you sell it. Now, the good thing about dealerships like ourselves and dealerships all around El Paso is we have to sell a vehicle at market price. Not only are manufacturers really competitive, but if you guys know where Casa Nissan's at, we got a Kia, a Chevy, and a Ford.
But are you talking about new or used at this point?
This is used cars.
Okay, so you have to sell. So I mean, like.
So we got a 2015 Chevy Cruze priced at $17,900, and the dealership across the street has a same Chevy Cruze facing ours at a different price, at a lower price. You know.
So do you have that where you can go across the dealership and be like, oh, well, that dealership over there is selling it, like, hook me up.
Like, that's exactly what it goes. That's why we have to be so competitive with our pricing.
So basically what he's saying is take like shoe polish and then go like across the dealership and write the number on their windshield and then right back across and be like, look, there's Diane's number over there for that same amount. And then I can get it at a cheaper price.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all about like saving the cost here.
Yeah, no, I mean, but yeah, all of our vehicles are priced at market. You know, everybody thinks that we're trying to screw you over, trying to get the most bang for our buck. But that's really.
What do you think about buying a used vehicle? Like personally, my recommendation is I prefer if I was to buy a non-wrecked vehicle would be to buy a used vehicle only because when you drive off the lot, like the vehicle's not worth the same amount of money. So like my depreciation if I buy used is a lot less.
Of course.
So, I mean, there is always that benefit, but like your warranty may not be there. So that's where you're.
Yeah, so there's pros and cons. Like I was saying, on a new car, you got your full warranty. On a used car, you don't have that anymore, but you always have the option to add it. Some good things about a used car is, you know, sometimes it's a little bit easier to get approved just because prices are a little bit lower. Somebody else has already paid for the most of the depreciation. Which happens in like the first year or two.
What about trade-ins? Like, because I get that question all the time. Hey, we have a wrecked car, we fixed it, it looks great, but now my trade-ins are not going to be as good. Like, how bad do y'all like ding them if like their car's been wrecked or there's damage on the car already that hasn't been fixed?
So we have a really good used car manager, Andrew Ariano. I don't know if you're watching Andrew, but shout out, man. He's a really good used car manager.
I don't know if I can say that about Andrew. He'll have to convince me. Come
say hi to Andrew, guys. So we do really good inspections on all the vehicles that come in. But
like what if they say, like, I had a customer and he had like an $11,000 claim. It sounds like a really big number, but it was all superficial because it was just scratches all over the vehicle, like hail damage. So, I mean, it wasn't like bad, but cosmetically we took care of it. So like, how do y'all like ding that in reference to like the trade-in?
So we go off of actual Kelley Blue Book values. Lots of people like to shop off of Kelley Blue Book, and you know we hear it all the time when they come take the car, and you know this is how much my car is worth. This is the Kelley.
But like, how much do you ding it on the claim? If you pull up the Carfax and it shows they had $11,000 claim, like how bad do you hurt them on their trade-in?
It's again probably going to come down to, you know, what that's valued at in the current market. Sometimes, you know, like she said, if it's just superficial, it's not going to be that big of a deal as long as it all looks right. It's fixed correctly.
So basically, you get it fixed by a good shop, is what he's saying.
Comes pronto if you guys get into an accident. She'll take care of you guys, make sure that it comes out right.
Or just any shop. I mean, our recommendation, if no matter if you're in El Paso or anywhere, is if you want to get your vehicle fixed, make sure you check them on, Google and, the Better Business Bureau, and make sure you feel comfortable with them. Because when you do trade it in, you want to make sure that you're not going to get screwed over because it looks like crap. Because I can tell you, I can look at a vehicle and be like, that looks like crap. But,
to the untrained eye.
My recommendation to most people is when you go to trade in a vehicle, like make sure it's dirty. So that way they can't see all of the little dents and things. So
hey, that might be one thing. And most people, it's weird.
I mean,
most people you can tell.
Okay, Javier's over here shaking his head. But it's true. If you have a vehicle and it's all nice,
the secret.
it's all clean, then they can see every little dent and ding. But if you come and show up and want to trade in a vehicle and they want that sell and your vehicle's super dirty, they can't see as much.
Yeah.
He's obviously I can just hear your manager in the back
So we gotta turn off
over.
the live stream now. No,
these are the tips I give customers.
No,
Sorry.
That's why we do such a good inspection on it. And she's asking about how much you're gonna get knocked out. We give a fair price on the trade in because once it comes in, we do a full reconditioning on the car. We check those things like the tires and the brakes and the wipers. We make sure that it's got an oil change. We make sure that it can pass a full 137-point Texas State inspection. And we're not gonna sell you any car that doesn't pass that.
But not everybody does that. So you want to make sure you're picking a dealership that maybe if you are going to buy a used car, does do those type of things.
Of course. Yep.
Because that's really important because you don't know if you're buying off of a car lot that maybe is on a less reputable street, and they're just like, let me slap some paint on this and it's good to go. And, you're
Bondo a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, generally my rule of thumb with cars, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And if you do buy used, will you let them drive it off the lot and have somebody inspect it for them?
Yeah, absolutely. That's always an option. A lot of people say that too. Well, let me let my mechanic look at it. And we're confident in all the cars that we have for sale that you could definitely guys come in, have somebody look at it, and go from there.
So what he's saying is, if you are going to buy used, then at least have somebody inspect it. If it's a mechanic or it's a body shop, we may not be able to hit all the points of it, but we're going to be able to tell you, hey, that's a good car. Hey, it's not. Hey, this is questionable. Especially because Carfax only reports what the insurance reports on it, and they only report on if it came through the Department of Public Safety. So if they repaired it on their own, or a body shop repaired it and it wasn't insurance, or the dealership just touched up a bumper, that's not going to be on Carfax. So the Carfax doesn't tell you everything. So even though they're doing their inspection or you're going to a reputable, dealership, you still want to have your own shop check it out and make sure that it's good to go. And most body shops will do that for you for free wherever you're at, because most shops do it as a convenience to make sure that, hey, well, we did this as convenience, so if you do have a problem, you'll come back. So that's really important. I mean, the other question you always get also, what's the main number one question? It's all about the money, right? The trade-in, like in the down payment. So how much down payment do you need?
So this is the number one question I get on a lot. People just look at cars and say, well, how much down do I need on this? Every single situation is different. First of all, for down payment, obviously, the more the money you put down, the less money you'll be financing, the less your monthly payment's going to be, which at the end of the day, we can give you all the discounts, we can do everything, but nobody remembers what they bought the car for. They remember how much it's into the bank every month. And a good down payment's going to help you out with that. Not only that, but we can also use it for different things if your credit's a little bit less than great, maybe we can use some of that down payment to help you out get some points at the bank. Maybe if your credit or finances are not that great, putting a big down payment, putting a big financial investment just to start off with, the bank's going to see, maybe their finances haven't been so great, maybe they haven't taken care of their credit so much, but this person didn't save up $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to give away and not pay the car note,
Well, and another thing is if you do a low down payment, you want to make sure you do gap insurance. So if you're not familiar with gap insurance, if everybody's familiar with being upside down on the vehicle. So upside down on the vehicle means that you owe more than the vehicle's worth. So you want to make sure if you end up only putting $500 or $1,000 down, or maybe you're trading something in that doesn't, you're upside down on that car and now you're trading it for something else and they're rolling that equity, that negative equity, like, hey, I owe $10,000 on this and it's only worth $8,000, so they're going to roll that negative $2,000 into another car loan. You want to make sure and have gap insurance, because if you ever total that vehicle, the insurance company is only going to pay you what the current value is. So if we total it and that vehicle is only worth $6,000 and you owe 12, well, lo and behold, who owes another $6,000? You do. And now the bank isn't going to want to roll another $6,000 into a car loan for the most part. And now you're sort of SOL and up the creek without a paddle. So like gap insurance is really important if you're not going to go in with a larger down payment, because you have to remember when you drive off the car with a new car, it usually goes down 10 to 20% on your depreciation. So right off the bat. So if you buy that car for $20,000, you drive off the lot and you wreck it, you may only get $16,000 from the insurance company if you didn't put any down payment on it. So you want to make sure if you are going to go the route like he's talking about, where you're not putting a large down payment or they're rolling something in, that you do the gap insurance, so you're not up the creek without a paddle. And then when I'm totaling your vehicle because some drunk asshole hits you on Dyer Street and you're like, oh my God, Tiffany, like, what am I going to do? Then we can advise you correctly. So that's really important. So, because you don't want that negative equity in there.
What I recommend, if you're not trading in the car, at least cover your tax, title, licenses. That way, what you finance is just going to be the value of the vehicle.
And how much is average tax, title, and license, like on a $20,000 car?
You're probably looking at about $2,500. 3.5% taxes, and then title and licensing fees are set fees. It's gonna be about $1,000 between the two of them.
I mean, so realistically, I mean, can you even get a car for $20,000?
Yeah, I mean, we've got cars. If you look at a brand new Nissan Versa, you know, you're looking at somewhere around $18,000.
Okay,
we got all ranges.
General rule of thumb, you should have $2,000 to $2,500 at least to put tax, title, license, so you're not so upside down. And do the gap insurance.
Yeah, put yourself in a positive position right off the bat. That way, that negative equity is not something that you ever have to worry about. If you want to come back in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, treating your car, it's not going to be a problem where you have to roll over any kind of balance over to your new truck contract.
Because that does. And what if they do have that issue? What if they total their car and they're negative on it and they still owe, say, $3,000? Will y'all roll that in on a loan? Do y'all have finance companies that y'all work with that will help them do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Depending on your credit situation, you get approval at a certain amount of what the car is valued at. Somebody with not such great credit will get like an 85% approval, meaning put 50% of the vehicle's value down, finance the rest.
Well, I mean, if you're already upside down on the vehicle, you're probably not in the best credit situation. So
in that situation, I'd recommend getting a new car. And the reason for that is because new cars coming from the manufacturer have different incentives for you guys. They got rebates, customer cash, dealer cash, cash back, all kinds of discounts and incentives to help you guys get out of that situation you're in. You know, I get people all the time come in like, you know, I got this Mustang, I want to trade it for Charger. You know, I don't sell Dodge. I can't help you so much on a used car if you're carrying over balance. But on a new car, you know, let's say you owe those $3,000 and I got $3,500 to give you on an Altima. So not only am I paying off the last balance that you guys had, I'm actually putting $500 down extra on top of what you guys are going to be putting to help
don't get sucked into the sales thing. Still get gap insurance, right?
Always get gap insurance. When I buy new cars, I always get gap insurance. Depending if it's new or used, I'll add a little bit of warranty to it, maybe a service plan. But 100% always get gap, because you never know. I mean, you can get out of your driveway, somebody's speeding, they hit you. Like she said, your car, you owe more than the car's worth. Who's going to take care of the rest of that money? The gap is always going to help you guys out. I recommend 100% of the time, if you're getting from a reputable dealership, they're going to offer you gap insurance. Make sure to take advantage of that, guys. I have a buddy who just crashed his car, and they totaled it, and he's waiting.
Why is it here? No, that's a good excuse. So remember, if you ever have a question about anything car related, you can always call us. I'll put you in touch with somebody that's not going to be salesy. I mean, you were a little salesy.
Was I really?
Yeah, a little. You should have had like natural light hard seltzer with me. Clearly, you would have been not salesy. No. Gilbert's super sweet. So if you ever have any questions, you can call us. We'll advise you so you don't feel like you're getting taken advantage of. And so you have like the knowledge going into getting a car, because it happens. We total cars all the time, and then what they do, they have to go and they have to buy a new car. So I mean, it's very stressful. Like I said, the last time I had to buy a car, like I literally walked into the dealership like, this is how much I'll offer you, and the guy was like, no. And then I like just walked off, and they like chased me from the dealership. Like, wait, come back. I was like, no, screw you. You didn't take my price. They're like, you talked to us for 5 seconds. So like, you know, ask questions, and you know, and if you don't like the salespeople, go somewhere else.
Guys, Casa Nissan's been there for 38 years and being a little bit salesy right here.
Yeah, he's
Casa Nissan's been around for 38 years, guys. And we wouldn't have been like that if we didn't have a good reputation with our people, if we didn't care about helping people. This is Sprinkles. She bites. I have a cut on my hand.
Yeah.
But come in, ask us questions. We're here to help you guys out. If you bought a car, you know it's a lengthy process. You know that it can get monotonous, especially going from lot to lot to lot to lot. Come to Casa Nissan, guys. Let us help you out. Let us answer any question you have. You know, even if you're not there to buy a car, we're there to help our people.
And you can say no. That's
always an option. Yeah.
You can always say no, and if you don't feel comfortable with wherever you're going, this cute little puppy that just walked by, you can always say no, and make sure you always feel comfortable. You check the reviews, no matter what you're doing, and that's my main use. Better Business Bureau, reviews on Google, and are you comfortable with the salesperson and what you're doing? Because a lot of times you're going to have to end up going back there for service. So remember, if you have any questions, let us know. You can message them, and then we'll answer back. And check us out next time on Preguntas, because I think we're going to have some people on about suspension and tires and wheels. So always fun topics. Y'all have a good evening. Thanks, Gilbert, for being on. We'll talk to you next time. Bye, guys.
So many ends.